Did you fall over?
Oh, I went like that.
Michelle Fix is here, people. Now, Michelle, it's funny. I thought originally you were in your working space, like your basement in your upstate. No, I keep saying upstate. Your Orange County house for like pottery and things. And no, you're just in your Chelsea apartment under your raised loft bed.
That is correct.
Hey, everybody out there who's watching Zoom, you want to live in New York? Take a look.
Okay,
this is my whole world, and that is where she's filming. You're in a crawl space. You're in a crawl space. It looks like an unfinished basement.
And that's Steve Reich in what I'm assuming is his interior garden.
They're just growing on their own now. People are like, "Oh, I really like your plants." I was like, they're not. I don't know where they came from.
You're like, they're not mine.
They're not mine.
They're propagating. They're crawling.
Like Donald Sutherland's gonna pop out. He's gonna be like,
but no, it's like
you know what that reference is to?
No,
well, yeah, but you know the reference to the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where Sutherland's like,
yeah.
So terrifying.
I
Still
like
gives me the willies.
A Little Shop of Horrors better. Although I'm a Little Shop of Hoarders. I'd love to see that.
I watch Hoarders. You know,
Hoarders.
Early on in the pandemico, I watched some Hoarders, and that's some scary shit.
Really?
Oh my! It gets bad.
Wow.
Like there's hoarding, and then there's like.
See, I'm an organized hoarder, and by hoarder I mean
that's what they all say.
No
hoarders say they're hoarders. They just say they're thrifty.
I admit that I'm a hoarder, but I'm an organized hoarder, and I have enough space to be able to walk around. Yeah. You know, I don't have.
Well, before we get into your hoarding habit, let's introduce ourselves.
Correct.
I am Steve Reich, actor, part-time lawyer. Good Lord. We always talk. We don't need to get into the credits thing, but I will tell you, Michelle, the role that I'm most known for.
Mention it every time.
We don't need to talk about my credits.
But I'm gonna mention them.
The interesting thing is this is a bit of an image rehabilitation because, or maybe it's not, but as you know, I tend to pretty much at this point in my career, up to this point, have only really played complete slime balls.
What?
So you may know me from Bonding, where I threaten a girl with physical violence. That's on Netflix. Okay, anyway, actually, Laura, here in New York, and Michelle Fix, give us a log line on what you do and who you are.
Okay, so I do a lot of comedy. I do. I've done improv. I've done stand-up. I've done web series. So that's my main.
Yeah.
Reason for living. And then I've also been in the fashion industry and in the home interiors industry.
Yeah. Well, nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah. Do stuff in there.
And we've been shooting the shit for decades. Just walking around shooting the shit. Mm-hmm. So thanks everybody to joining us.
We did the walk and talk before Aaron Sorkin did the walk and talk. All right. It's like,
but we had nothing to discuss. They're always walking and talking. Right, the plaintiff hours and they're like, "Oh my god, it's a catheter disruption. Oh, it's crashing," and we're like, "Blah blah 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 blah."
Apology still open.
We're still like we're walking fast and talking rapidly, but about absolutely like nonsensical matters. Like, do they have a latte? Is it iced?
Exactly.
So thanks to everyone for joining us for episode 3 of No Agenda, where we talk about nothing.
We do. Well, I actually I was distracted for 2 seconds because a red cardinal just came to feed at my bird feeder I have out on the fire.
As opposed to a blue cardinal?
That's a blue jay. Or a blue bird.
So what you said was redundant. Sorry, I have to button my shirt. I look like I'm in Miami.
It could have been the female cardinal, which would have been brown with a tiny bit of red here.
Well, that's true. Okay, so a male, the cardinal we all know and love.
Yes, the bright red cardinal we all know and love.
Just flew by your window?
Phoenix, right? Phoenix Cardinals?
Nope. Oh, Arizona Cardinals. That's fair.
Arizona. Okay, sorry.
No, that's fair. That's right.
That's pretty.
I don't know what the stadium is. Tucson.
They're no longer in St. Louis. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Well, they are in baseball.
Wait a minute. Yeah, one of them is still in St. Louis, and the other one's in.
Yes. There we go. Michelle, do you remember when I asked you who you were rooting for in the Super Bowl? And you're like, it's a tough one because it's like the Broncos and the Colts, and I like horses. And that's when I was like, I don't know if I can continue this friendship.
That's my logic when it comes to sports teams.
You're like, I'm torn.
I was about to say, the Cardinals ended up the way they did because they got a very acrimonious divorce.
They did. To be fair, actually, that wasn't a Super Bowl because those are both teams in the same conference. But it was something like, I was like, who are you rooting for? I'm like, you're like the Broncos all the way because I like horses. And I was like, what? That's so beyond. But I guess it makes sense on some level.
That makes no sense. But it does
0 sense.
It makes sense.
But it was adorable. Okay, so you just had a cardinal flyby. All right, you get a lot of wildlife in that Chelsea apartment. Last week you had a wasp.
I did, and I killed it.
I thought you let it out the window.
Oh, wait, I let it out the window. I don't even remember anymore. Because you know why?
Boy, I'm not putting you on the stand.
I just agree with you on this unreliability of eyewitnesses. And I'm going to call myself out as a really bad eyewitness. Because I witnessed a drug deal go down in the parking lot next to my garage. And
you mentioned this to me. You know, it was funny, and I said, "Save it, save it."
I did. I know, like, we can't even have conversations anymore. It was like, no, we got to put that on air.
I'm like, I gotta go. Nope.
Go on.
Too good.
So
our nothing. We have to save talking about nothing for when we actually talk about nothing now.
That's true.
We literally have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. But we have things to talk about. So anyway, I like filmed them, right? And I have footage, but I think they noticed me filming them, which was not cool. And then I called the cops.
You get killed.
Of course. But then the cops come and they are
You're like cranking like
literally following, and I mean literally following the car that was the drug dealer car past my house. So the cops in the car are going like this, and I'm like, oh my God, they find them already? That's amazing. And then the cop car backs up in front of my house and stops. So now the drug car knows that I called the cops because the cops just stopped in front of my house. But anyway, the guy
nice, Michelle.
I know, right? Stupid. So one of the cops is like looking at the footage, and he's like, so it looks like it's a silver or a white car, and those are what, Massachusetts plates? And I was like, no, it was white, and that's New York. I'm pretty sure it was New York plates. I looked at it. And then I see the car drive around again. Of course,
after the cops left?
Yeah, it's silver and has Massachusetts plates. And Steve, it parked over in the college parking lot a block and a half from me, and I could see it the whole night. And it was still there this morning, so I got its license plate number.
What is it in your Nebraska farm upbringing that you have like this false confidence in the moment that continuously is proven incorrect?
Maybe.
And for everyone out there, I know it sounds like I tend to like give Michelle a hard time. Maybe I'm attacking, but you don't understand. This is 20 years of stories like this, where she's like, I was so confident that it was a New York plate. I saw the getaway driver. He was a tall Chinese man, and he was driving a van with Massachusetts plates. But it turned out that it was a small Hispanic woman in a Rolls Royce with Florida license tags. It's like, what? What?
Initially, when I just first glanced at them, I was recording in my phone going, I just saw two Caucasian guys go behind the garage, blah, 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 blah. And then I filmed them after I saw them again. Neither one of them was Caucasian. It was like wrong, and wrong.
The cops are like, what do you want us to do? You can't keep your eggs from your donuts here.
But I had everything on film. Like everything I told them verbally that I saw was wrong. Thank God.
They're like, we're just going to stick to the film.
Exactly.
We're going to stick to the film. Thanks for your help, lady.
I contradicted my own eyewitness testimony with my own video.
It's back to the like, what was that president that won the Civil War? Lincoln? That's not it.
Is it on video? Have it on video? If I don't have it on video, I can't answer that.
Wow. Yeah. Is it on video? I don't think so. Daguerreotype, maybe. Well, that's an alarming situation that happened to you.
I'm getting 2 more security cameras that I'm installing. One on the other side of my garage so I can see what the fuck is going on over there. And one right above my front door. So it's going to like look right down on people.
What people? I'm worried this is gonna just dissolve into you like having more footage of animals roaming your property.
One of my friends was like, "You should get a taser." I'm like, I would only get tased if I
Who
had
said to get a taser?
I can't remember, but I was like, "That's not happening. I would be the one who would get tased. It
Like
would
they're so
immediately
easy to
be
work.
taken from me."
Yeah, and it's like they're so easy to operate, and
I
like you don't get sued up the wing yang for using it.
Well, I'd probably point at myself or something and be like,
Yeah, it would just go horribly wrong.
yeah, or one of the cats and be like, "I'm so sorry, Bug." So what's going on? Have you been doing any VO? Any? Oh,
I've been recording, just sending it out into the ether.
Oh, cool.
Hoping somebody likes it. No bites.
Audiciones?
It's all been voiceover. It's all been commercial voiceover.
Oh, that's cool.
But I had to update my profile now because we're here in New York, but my talent agency, which is cool, is expanding their reach to LA in these times.
Oh, cool.
So they're like, hey, update your resume, and all this stuff for us so that we can, market you out there. So it's an automated, you probably know these casting network sites. So it's like an automated system where you're like going, and they have like a list of all these skills that they want to be able to have in your database.
Right.
Because it's a wide breadth system. This is more like they're running it through and they're like, we need somebody who can drive and all this stuff.
Right.
Well, I've never.
They use an algorithm.
I mean, I'm looking at all these skills to check a box on. I realize how little I know how to do.
Oh, that's too funny. Because you know what? I did.
Nope. I can't really say that. Because listen, I bet people out there are like, why do you say you could do it? Like the New York pizza guy, right? Why do you just say you could do it?
Exactly.
And then you just get on and say you do it.
I do it. I can do that.
Because that's the quickest way to never get hired again.
Exactly. Well,
you could ride a horse. I said I could ride a horse.
Exactly. It's a stuffed horse.
But I meant a pony that wasn't moving.
Exactly. I meant
why are you talking like you came from a time machine?
Merry-go-round horse.
Why do you sound like you're from 1897? You tell me. Anyway, besides softball and being able to shoot a couple of hoops, you really don't do anything.
You said you could play basketball?
Intermediate. I can play basketball.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm athletic. Yeah. I think in terms of acting, it means like, let's say you book a commercial and they're like, hey, can you just dribble and do a layup? And if someone was like, what do you mean? That would be the concern. I can certainly play basketball.
Too. I could put down, I could dribble. It doesn't say anything about being able to move quickly.
Dribbling is not like.
I don't dribble like that. I was on a high school basketball team, Steve.
You know what? You're right. I don't know anything about your basketball skills, so I shouldn't assume. I apologize.
Well, but I was the only senior on the freshman team.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
Well, because it was the first year.
Did you mean to say you were the only freshman on the senior team?
No, I was the only senior on the freshman team.
That's like an honorary position.
Well, I was.
That's like a good valor, like a participation award.
Like I never did sports in high school because I did drama. I did music and drama. That's all I did.
I was the exact opposite. I was the opposite.
Well, then my senior year, one of my friends convinced me, you have to have the experience of being like on a high school team, like go out for something. And she was really good at basketball. So she was like, just do basketball. So I did, but it was literally the first time I'd ever played basketball in my life. And so they couldn't put me on junior varsity or varsity. It was like, you need to be on the freshman team. And I was like,
you were just a body. You were a body they had to drive around.
I know, but I was okay with it. I actually only got to play in 2 games. But then when I did, the whole school was like, yay! Only because I was a senior on the freshman team. And
Michelle,
you're
a charity case.
No, all the musical theater people were like, yay!
Okay, all right. It wasn't like the whole school being like a Rudy moment.
No, it was musical theater people being like, woohoo!
I didn't know you did musical theater in high school.
I got Best Actress award twice in a row.
Okay.
In high school.
I once won a 100-yard dash in like a community event where I rolled out a bit. And let me tell you something. I'm not fast. I'm notoriously slow. It's weird.
No, you're not. I've seen you play baseball. You're pretty fast.
I've gotten decently like mobile in my later years, but I had a growth spurt when I was younger, whatever. I went from like pretty small and quick to like tall and just molasses.
Oh.
Couldn't move, like so embarrassingly slow, because people are like, you don't look like you'd be slow, and you're tremendously slow. It was
wow.
a bad, dark time in my life.
Noticeably
But anyway,
slow.
but before that happened, I was fast. And I rolled out of bed. My dad was like, I think we signed you up for this like community race thing. I was like, okay. It was so cool, man. Like back in those days, you're a kid, you're like, yeah, whatever.
Never, no expectation, no anxiety, no nothing.
Just like you just had no care in the world. I was like, all right. I roll over this thing. Like people are like, where were you? I'm like, I'm here, whatever. I line up with like 20 kids. And I heard somebody once say that it was outdoor on grass. So I heard somebody say you can run a lot faster in bare feet.
You went.
So I go all like, like indigenous here. I take my shoes off, my socks off. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, just you watch. And I toast the competition. Blow them away. Smoke them.
You were like a cheetah.
Yeah. Just blew past everybody. And then like they had like a whole ceremony. They get me up on like the platform, and I got no shoes.
You were on a podium.
The podium, and I get the award. I'm like, yeah, what else?
You're like, where's my socks? Where's my shoes?
And to this day, I'm not 100% positive if this happened or if I just dreamed it. Because it sounds too good to be true. But I really do. I'm pretty confident it happened.
You could always ask your mom and dad.
I'll ask dad. I mean, I'm like, listen, I'm sure it happened because I remember it happening. Yeah, but it seems like a dream.
Yeah. Well, because it happens so, I mean, that is one of those moments in life where it's seamless, flawless.
Not a care in the world.
Finish. No anxiety.
Roll out of bed.
No pressure, no nothing. And then it ends on such a high note, and you just move on with your day. Like, so that was, that happened.
It was like, oh, that race is today? Marathon just got pulled.
Really?
Which is good because I'm way behind in my training. My girlfriend moved to New York, thought she was going to do the marathon. And we got in a big fight. Like, this is years ago. We got into big fights because she was like, are you going to like be there to root me on?
You're not going to be in it.
I was like, no. I don't know why I was so adamant about it, but I was like, it's not happening. Because I wanted her to like focus, she's moving here to do acting. And I was like, I want you to focus on that. Whatever. I was a bit of a schmuck about it. But
right, but
she trained.
In fairness to New York, fuck you. You don't just come here and like decide to run
whatever. You got it. Well, it's okay. I mean, she has to train. She would have to qualify.
It's
not like you can
system.
So yeah, it was a whole thing. So, but she was like ready to get into it. And she started running and ran like 6 miles right out of the gate and hurt herself and was never able to do it again.
Well,
I mean, she's fine. I'm not, but like the training, once you have an injury, the training's gone, you're done.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, well, there you go. This marathon died. Marathon ran from whatever, like Persia or it's the 300 movie. He ran from that battle to Athens and dropped dead upon arrival.
I did not know the origin story.
Yeah, and they're like, we're going to name a race after you, pal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
25 some miles to warn the Athenians.
26.2.
You imagine he gets there, he's like, what, sir? What? Or he was named, his name was Marathon. They're like, what Marathon? What? He's like, it's
water. Water.
How about this? If you could pick any era to live in, what would it be?
Well, that would depend on who I am in that era.
Well, like you wouldn't be, a put upon, persecuted. I wouldn't be like, you'll be a Jewish slave in Egypt. I don't think you want to pick that.
Okay, I mean, that's why I'm saying it.
Unless you're Moses.
When people do this, they always assume that they are in the upper class.
That's of course, because it's akin to asking if you had all the money in the world. So I'm not asking you if you could be in the worst suffering place.
Well, realistically, it would be the 17th century, and I would die at age 12 of syphilis.
Yeah, right. You're the Debbie Downer of this game. I would be 9 and conduct Scarlet Fever in 1890 in Lewis and Clark
Try
Trail.
to use leeches, but all the leeches would do would cause lesions, and then
That's
I
my
would
choice.
bleed
I would
out
be
of the
burned at the
lesions.
stake.
Yeah. So
I
anyway,
would
then
be
where
blown
would you
off.
be?
Why no? Come on. Where would you? What would
Okay, so
your
where
era
would
be?
my dream place be? Well, I have
You
several
would
of
be
them.
successful. You wouldn't die some horrible death. You know, you would be. You know,
I would
or
be
if you did, it would be a martyr.
in Paris in the 20s.
Oh boy, tough to beat that one. Belle Epoque.
The Belle
That's a
Epoque.
little later than the Belle Epoque, isn't it?
The Belle
Belle
Epoque was
Epoque
like
is
the
1890s.
1910s, so it's a little bit later. So they have better toilets and things like that. Because wherever I go, I want to have some sanitation.
You really get to the nitty gritty. When we start our time machine travel agency, which I think is like brilliant.
That would be brilliant.
If you're out there and you're writing a screenplay or a show about the future, you need to have a time travel agency.
Absolutely.
Time travel agency.
Yeah,
Jerry
exactly.
speaking. And where would you like to go?
It's like triple TA.
Oh, we have
not triple A, but triple TA.
We have a discount on Mongolia in the 3rd century this week.
Exactly. And that comes with the chamber.
And they would have inns and like stops there. They would have like inns.
To come with the chamber pot. Everything.
Oh yeah. Well, it's super like Bill and Teddy.
Oh yeah.
But so anyway, so you're 1920 Paris, but you're getting like so to the grit, like the knit and grit of it. Like wow. You know.
Well, listen,
produce.
for women, let's just get down to the knit and grit. For women to go back in time anytime is not
safe. Like 4 weeks.
No, there's no.
Like 4 months ago, it's not safe.
No. There's no feminine hygiene products.
Oh my God! What did they do back then?
That's literally why it's called on the rag, because you would like use a rag and wash.
Get a rag.
Yeah, and you would wash out the rag, and use a rag and wash out the rag. So that's literally why they call it on the rag. So
Thanks, Michelle.
There's a lot of negatives for women going back in time.
Again, you're sucking the fun and lifeblood out of this.
But I already said 1920s.
You know, I really gotta. All right, so 1920s Paris. What would you do?
I would be the straight version of Gertrude Stein. I would have salons with a lot of incredibly intelligent.
So you'd be a literary critic?
I'd be a literary and art critic, but I would also be a writer, but a literary and art critic that would host salons at my apartment in Paris. And it would be a huge apartment, 12 rooms. And it would be on the left bank. And I would have these people over, and it would almost be like a rotating cast of characters who could stay there and do art and leave and whatever.
Sure, a salon,
painting, all that kind of stuff, music, etc. And so I would
call that
I would kind
a
of
salon.
I would kind of like, mentor some of these people. That's what I think would be fun.
Oh, because you're a raging narcissist.
At that epoch, yes, I was.
Yes, because I have to mentor some of them. Like, God forbid, you can just observe and join in the movement. Yes, because you just slip it right in there. And then, yes, so I would mentor some of these wonderful artists. Oh, what's your name? Pablo? Pablo, what you say? Picasso? Oh, yes, you seem to have some talent. There's a great comedian.
Let me
what
shape
is her
it
name?
for you. Let me shape
what
it
is,
for you.
Yeah.
Tucker was it? It was Sophie Tucker? I don't know.
The bathing women? I don't know.
Marceau? Isn't that too many R's?
You're just like the chick who gives bad advice that nobody listens to.
Margot. I like that better.
If it was like Drunken History, like you would be the chick who gives bad advice that no one listens to throughout history, thankfully.
Not true.
You'd be like in Gettysburg, you'd be like, Pickett's, he's coming up with a good plan. We should just throw in we should throw it in. We should throw in the towel.
Okay, now how about you?
Erudite there.
What's your era?
Oh, I had something else I was going to say. I keep forgetting now. Oh, wait. Before I get to my era, about Picasso, there's a great comedian from Australia. What is her name? She does a huge riff on Picasso and how he was just like a total scumbag.
Um,
It's called The Net. Her piece is called The Net.
yeah, and
It's
then
very well known.
Hannah Gadsby.
Yes.
Hannah Gadsby.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Oh,
She's
I've
like, this
seen
guy was just
that like 3 times. It's amazing, amazing.
It's
amazing.
amazing. You
It's
all
not
should
really
watch
a
it.
stand-up special. It's more like a one-woman show.
It's more like a one-woman show.
Unbelievable.
Because she's a comedian, but she was kind of like saying, I'm done with comedy, and let me tell you why. And it's very powerful.
She starts out in a traditional kind of stand-up comic special, and then she morphs into something so real and so
it's so good. It's so good.
Emotionally, like she's so emotionally available, and she so connects with
so smart
on a human level, and she's so smart. That was a really, really amazing special.
Yeah. So anyway, I did want to plug that, but where I would go, and I'm not trying to be fancy or like I'm some thespian, because I'm really, I love acting, but it's, I didn't grow up like
Shakespeare's theater.
I was gonna say Shakespeare's theater for a week.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You think I'm being fake? I think that'd be so cool.
So you
like go around and everyone's like, I don't know if this guy's got it. I'd be like, he's got it.
That's hilarious.
I would be his agent.
That's hilarious that I guessed what it was.
I think it's like a really smart play, so to speak.
So, pun intended.
And I am not like a crying artist. Like I like acting for a lot of reasons. Like, and I love Shakespeare, but I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not like holding my props and weeping. But I think that would be super cool.
Super cool. Like if you were at the Old Globe when it started, when he was actually putting up the work and that was all happening.
He's got stage fright. He's got butterflies. It's going to be fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Of course, a terrible review in the Globe Current.
Ignore it.
Everyone's like, that guy, he's super calm about stuff.
Like, well, I'm getting 10%, so,
Forever. Yeah, and then I go back, yeah. So I think I would do that. That would be kind of cool.
That would be very cool.
Interesting game. Interesting game.
I like that. 2 weeks to a month maximum to really soak up in it.
This is our travel agency. It's like you got to keep it. Yeah, you got to keep it like a vacation. I wouldn't want to
go there for like 5 years or something and be like, no. You gotta make it like.
Imagine the insurance we'd need to send people back in time.
Hello,
one way travel agency. One way, back in time. Yes, back in time.
That's also known as a funeral home. One-way travel.
One-way travel agency. Exactly. I love it. I love this idea. We should really get on it now. We should get on it before anybody else does.
I love it. All we need is the technology.
That part's easy. You just hire somebody to do that.
Exactly. You hire somebody to do that. You sound like
I feel like people are so dumb in this world that you could easily convince like several folks that like the technology already exists and we have it.
Some of those evangelical preachers, oh my God, they're now jumping on the coronavirus pandemic. There's this guy who actually he edits them so that they are so
wow. So he completely breached his contract. Well, hey, I'll just send it to my friends. I'm gonna send the raw footage to my friends. What a jerk.
No, you can pull it off the web. It's not.
It was already edited. It was already done.
Oh no! He just pulls the footage off the web. He re-edits.
He pulls existing. I thought they hired him to edit the stuff for them.
No. Oh,
I was like,
or maybe he does.
Yeah.
No, he pulls.
That's fair game, people.
Fair game. It's out there.
That's fair game. Hey, that's a funny thing. We should do that more. That's fair game.
Fair game.
You could do that all the time. You're like in a supermarket. Somebody grabs a zucchini first, and this other person's like, hey, you go, that's fair game. Did I ever tell you the time I was in – this is weird. I was in Georgetown, D.C.
Uh-huh.
And some bars there. I think it was like right after college. I don't know. Whatever. I was young. I'm in late 20s. And we're in a bar, like a bunch of friends of mine. And this dude is like being drunk and rowdy. Just these guys that like nobody wants around.
It'd be like a Bernie bro nowadays.
or it was like I don't want to say he was deranged, but like clearly like he didn't belong in there, and he was just making a lot of noise, and everyone's like, ooh, like staying away. So for better for worse, I stand up and I point right at him and I go, "You're out of here!"
No.
I tossed him out of the ball game.
Really?
You're out of here! Like an umpire, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And the guy's like I totally like broke his brain.
Did he leave?
I'm out. Like, yeah, I just kept tossing him with no physical, nothing. Just get out of here. And he was like, he just walked out.
That's so fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll do that with fair. You're out. We'll do that with fair game. Fair game.
That's fair game. Like, yeah, but I was in line for fair game. Forgot to grab a ticket.
And the best it'll be fair game when it's not fair.
Oh, of course, as it has to be.
Like that guy just cut me. Fair game.
That's how you get the drama. Conflict.
Did you drink my fair game? What a weird character. He's very like he looks. I think of him as like a miner from like Deadwood, like like 1890 or something.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
you took my gold. Fair game.
Oh my god, absolutely. That'd be hilarious.
But he's just everywhere and like makes no like people are like, oh, I don't. It's like you take in a wolf and then it bites you.